So today we have this Toyota Tundra in for our full detail, and it is gross. The interior is the worst. The exterior is this awesome bright orange color. We're going to focus on the interior. We do have mats that cover the majority of the interior of the vehicle, which is great. However, we have a plethora of dog hair. Oh, you can see it fluff out as I open the door. It is everywhere. Now, once again, the majority is covered by these mats. This is a lifesaver. But yeah, the dog hair is still everywhere. So here's a couple of tips to help with really bad dog hair like this. First thing I'm going to do is remove all of these mats. They need to be scrubbed. I'll show you what we use for those. And it is windy today, so it's blowing that thing all around. That was awkward. And as you can see, all that dog hair, and we do have some sand as well. Each detailer is going to have their preferred method, whether they're going to use a drill brush or a blower. Whatever the case is, do what works for you. In this case, we're going to use the Tornador and blow out the entire inside of the vehicle first, before we even wash it. This is going to dislodge that dog hair and a lot of the particles in those tight spaces, making it easier to vacuum after. Now, this is going to make a huge mess, and the dog hair is going to resettle, and it may look worse than before. However, you have dislodged all of that dog hair so that it's easier to vacuum. We still need all those tools though, because this dog hair is really bad and it's everywhere. Now we're washing the vehicle right now. We're going to do the outside first. For the mats, we're using Super Clean diluted 1 to 10 in the IK foamer. This is an awesome way of distributing this foam nice and even. I used to use just the sprayer, and sometimes it would stain the mats, only because it wasn't an even distribution. This is a nice, even distribution. It works really well. And then we can scrub these or drill brush them, or however you care for your mats. That's what we're going to do, is most likely drill brush them. Now, I don't always use the drill brush for the mats, but in some cases, well, you have to. So I pulled out the drill brush and the cleaner, and I scrubbed these mats as much as I could. But sometimes I'll just use the wheel brush and scrub them by hand, and that's usually good enough. But once again, guys, do what works for you. You really have to kind of analyze what you're working with and determine, do you need to go heavier on your cleaning or lighter? Don't just attack it just because that's what you always do. Analyze it and determine what you need to do. So now I'm attacking the driver's side, which I usually start on anyway, and you will notice that I try to keep my cleaning sections smaller and I try to isolate where I'm cleaning, which means I'm not going to take the drill brush again and make a big mess. Because since I'm working on the carpets here, I've already cleaned all of the dash and center console. So if I use the drill brush and the blower and just make a big mess again, it's defeating the purpose. So once again, this is my method. I clean in sections, and I try not to reintroduce dog hair particles and grime back into the areas where I just cleaned. If it's just a little bit of dust, that's one thing, but I'm not going to attack these carpets with a drill brush again and introduce all of that grit and dog hair into the air just to settle all over my clean areas again. Now, what about carpet extracting? Do you have to use the extractor every single time? Well, my answer is no, you don't. These carpets are not stained and nasty. They are full of particles and full of dog hair. That's the majority of the filth. So what I'm going to do is spray down the carpet lightly with an interior carpet cleaner and then steam everything, leaving the surface much drier than using an extractor. I don't want to oversaturate the carpets for no reason. So once again, analyze what you're doing and don't simply do things because you see guys doing it here on YouTube. Now I'm using a variety of tools here, and one of the newest additions to my dog hair removal tools is this little metal dog hair remover tool. But this thing really does work well. Now, a word of caution when using this, because it is metal, you want to stay away from any type of plastics because it will gouge into the plastics. However, just use your brain and keep a safe distance away from the plastics. It's really not a difficult thing to do, but this little tool works really well. Now, when you're dealing with interiors, of course, you're going to be dealing with many different types of fabrics and carpets and materials. So, in my case, I'm going to use any tool that I need to use at my disposal to work on those different fabrics and those different surfaces. One tool is not going to cut it. I need multiple tools. Which tool works the best for you and your dog hair removal services? Let me know down below. Now, one last tip that I want to show you, and this is something I have to really show you because you have to see it to understand, is this little brush and vacuum tool nozzle trick that I learned a while ago. Basically using the brush nozzle and the brush at the same time. And this releases particles and vacuums them up at the same time. Again, you got to use two hands, and in some areas you can't always do that. In trucks and SUVs, it's a little bit easier because you're standing up. So give this technique a try and let me know down below if it works for you. But it's worked for us for many, many years. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. We'll see you in the next one.